Mayor and Council, thank you for the comments. I have letter, the text of my statement here, a copy for each member of the council. My name is Renee Vaughn. I work in the city of Houston, and I came today to express my opposition to the one bid for all proposal. What was sold to the public as a plan for more recycling has turned out to be a plan for introducing waste incineration to Houston. Schemes like this one have historically relied on incineration technologies including pyrolysis, plasma arc, gasification, and other euphemisms for trash burning. Do not believe the hype. Despite what you will be told about state-of-the-art pollution controls and miracles of new technology, incineration is a disaster for the environment. The European Commission reported in 2006 that, quote, emission levels for releases to air from the combustion stage of such installations are the same as those established in incineration installations, end quote. Across Europe, in Canada, Massachusetts, California, and elsewhere, these quote-unquote green incineration facilities have wrought havoc on air quality. And just last week, the Scottish Environmental Protection Agency, or SEPA, had to shut down a gasification plant in Dumfries, Scotland that was only built 4 years ago. This facility has the latest technology, the state-of-the-art equipment regulated under the strict scrutiny of European law, and it was a disaster for both the environment and for the taxpayers of Scotland. SEPA said, quote, the facility has consistently failed to meet any reasonable expectation of environmental performance, and the predicted level of energy recovery at approximately 3% is particularly disappointing and unsatisfactory, end quote. Please learn from the mistakes of other communities. Incineration is an expensive mess, and Houston should not try and turn our trash into air pollution. We should also learn from other communities' successes. Recycling works, period. The Woodlands has a diversion rate of about 42%, the same as Austin. If they can do it, so can Houston. Behind closed doors, the city's sustainability director, Laura Spangen, is telling people that Houston residents just can't be bothered to recycle, but it just won't work here because our culture is somehow incapable of getting into recycling. The smart, responsible, and right thing to do with recyclable materials is to recycle them when possible. So to say to people in Houston that they just don't care to recycle is to say that we aren't smart enough, we aren't responsible enough, and that we're just not good people. This is a profoundly cynical view.
Thank you, ma'am. Your time
Please
has
stand for
expired.
recycling.
Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem, Vice Mayor Pro Tem Bradford.
Ma'am,
Thank you, Mayor.
there's
Ms. Vaughn, over here, please.
over here.
On this side to your left. Thank you kindly. Good morning. In your statement, you said that what was sold to the public as a plan for more recycling has turned out to be a plan for introducing waste incineration to Houston. Has it been sold, or is it still being discussed, reviewed, and debated? And is it your, that's the first question. Second question, is it your goal that America, Houston included, can realistically move to a zero waste environment?
Zero waste, or darn close, to be precise. Certainly there are problem articles that simply aren't made to be recycled, but those are in the minority of consumer goods. And as far as being sold, again, to be precise in my speech, I don't mean to imply that the city has bought anything and signed on the dotted line, only that you've been pitched, and hopefully you're not sold on the idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to discuss all alternatives, including the one bin all idea. It's something that someone put out there as an option to what we're doing today, so I think it's a good idea to discuss it. I still have reserved opinion concerning such, but I think it's a good idea to have these discussions. Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Councilmember Burks.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, Ms. Vaughn. Let me ask you this one question here. We have recycling plants around the city of Houston right now. Has any one of these recycling plants ever caused any harm to our environment that we have around the city?
You mean the collection facilities where people drop off their bottles and cans and things? Is that what you
And
mean?
other companies who take care of the rubber tires plastic goods. There are independent private recycling companies doing that also around the city.
Hopefully they're not burning the tires of plastic. If those materials are being truly recycled, then there's a net benefit to the community.
But my question is about the harm of the environment. In your statement, you said that despite what you've been told about the state-of-the-art pollution controls and the miracles of new technology, incineration is a disaster for the environment. But they aren't incinerating anything. They're just recycling and making other products out of it.
The recycling is a good thing to do, but if you take those same materials, the rubbers and plastics and paper, and incinerate them, then you generate dioxins and other health-harming pollutants into the air.
I certainly agree with that, but I don't believe that the reason for us having a one bin for all is a point where we will burn up things. I think that it's an honorable thing for us to do. If other people are making money, other companies are making money off of recycled goods such as plastic, so on and so forth, and paper, then the city could actually help our environment by doing the same. And in so doing that, it would benefit all who are in the city, and especially our city employees, because you might can get a raise out of this thing if we all participate to work in it.
The one bin that's mentioned here involves mixing the trash in with the recyclables, the coffee grounds and the kitty litter and things that contaminate the recyclables. And when you contaminate those materials, then they either have to go to the landfill or be incinerated.
Let me take you back just to something real quick, and I'm at the end of my statement. I'll get some questions. When I see people going through the trash cans to get the aluminum cans out, they're going through the coffee grinds and the meat and the old bones and everything else and getting those items out. They're taking the aluminum cans out of the trash cans and then they're taking them over to a recycle place and selling those wares. And then we at the same time go to the grocery stores and we see on the can that these cans are recycled. Now, I'm trying to really understand where we are with this. Things are separated as they are separating right now. And at the same time, we have the instruments to cool, to sterilize, and to redo. We have the equipment for that. Are you aware of this type of equipment? Have you seen it work?
When you're talking about aluminum cans, the equipment to sterilize and recycle that material is okay. When you're talking about paper and plastic, it doesn't work. Wet plus dry equals wet. And there's a change in the market for plastics globally now, and plastics that are contaminated are usually not accepted in places that buy bulk plastic to recycle.
And I think that we have the intelligence to know not to use those things that have been contaminated. I don't think our technology would give us that point there, but thank you very much, though.
Council members, if you wish to continue discussion, I need a motion to 16.
Thank you very much.
Discussion, favoring, opposed, motion carries. Chair recognizes Councilmember Christie.
Just to clarify, maybe it's the administration needs to clarify. I thought one bin for all was separation, recycling, then incineration. Am I anywhere near?
Yeah, although I don't know that it necessarily includes incineration. We generally landfill rather than incinerate here in the Greater Houston area. Councilmember Adams.
Thank you, Mayor. Ma'am, I want to thank you so much for coming down and sharing your opinion. And I'm going to direct the question to Mayor Parker concerning this program. Mayor Parker, as you know, I've been in recycling and solid waste for a long time. And I know when we look at the budget for Director Hayes, one of the budget line items that we see has been an increase in recycling because we have been able to sell off the recyclable materials to be able to have that additional funding to buy additional bins. But I guess my question to you would be, because we have a product, when it's a clean product, we have buyers that want to come in and purchase the recyclables. So if one of her concerns are contamination of the plastics as well as the other, because right now I know people doing 1s and 2s and now some of them going in 3s and 4s. So what would be our plan if we see that revenue decrease because of contamination of those particular items, like the plastics, because I know we're doing just a study right now, just to see if this works, and I think we all kind of support just to see if it works. But say if the buyers no longer want the product because there is a commingling of the other materials in the bins.
Okay, I'll give you several answers. One, what we are studying is several years off.
Okay.
Not going to happen imminently. We are studying to create, whether we can create a pilot process and improve the technology. Secondly, today only half the city, we just doubled the number of households in Houston that have recycling, but we still have only half the households covered. So we have a long way to go on recycling. Third, the revenue recovered from recyclable materials only covers a fraction of the cost of actually operating a recycling operation. You don't do recycling because it makes financial sense. It's cheaper to send it to a landfill. I'll show you the numbers. We do it because it saves room in the landfill, because it's better for the planet. There's a lot of reasons why we do it. And then finally, I don't think there's ever been any contemplation that the entire waste stream of the city of Houston would go into this one bin process. You're still going to have like large office buildings where it makes sense to separate out paper products and the recyclable materials. It's designed to do away with personal recycling.
Thank you, ma'am, for coming down. Thank you, Mayor, for addressing.